verse 10, for am I now seeking the favor of men? This is important because in chapter 5 and chapter 6, this is the argument that he's making you. Why do they want for you to be circumcised? They want you to be circumcised so they can say that they brought you in to those that are circumcised, and it's a notch on their belt. Remember, these are some of the sect of the Pharisees. So in the same way that we try to convert people so that, I brought in 15 people this year to the Lord. Yeah, this is the argument that he's making right now. So it's a gospel or the news or the teaching about circumcision that he's dealing with. Okay, and for I neither received it from men nor was I taught it, but I received it through revelation. So if we say this is a spiritual revelation, because that's kind of what I saw, right? Sister Linda, do you see that?
Yes.
This is the way I was taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is spiritual insight.
Correct.
Okay, but he wasn't taught it. No one taught it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, meaning my elders, the Gamaliel, the ones that taught me from the Pharisees, didn't teach this to me.
Mm-hmm. No one would know it other than
know this.
Correct.
Okay, they don't even know. So I'm teaching you that, and the teaching is simple. Wait a minute, Abraham had to believe first before he was circumcised.
Mm-hmm. While
you are circumcised at 8 days old, and then you believe later. This is the argument that he's going to make. Nobody taught me this. My instructors didn't teach me this. You get that understanding, right?
Yes.
It's actually pretty simple when you look at it. But I received it through an insight or a revelation. Because salvation, this is the argument, because salvation comes from Yeshua, from the Messiah. Messiah is Old Testament. It's from the prophet, from the promise. The promise is what Abraham is told. Through Isaac, your promise will come. So he's making a connection all the way back there, even though we can't see it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But so when he says I didn't receive it from men, meaning my elders didn't teach this to me. They taught me something different. They taught me that in order to be saved, you had to be circumcised. That's mm-hmm. what he means. Mm-hmm. He's not telling you that he got a spiritual insight all by himself. Revelation simply means something is open, something is peeled open, revealed. But it can be revealed to me, but Canaan already knew it. Mm-hmm. It can be revealed to me, but you already knew it. Mm-hmm. So far, so good?
So good.
Okay, let's go. So are there two gospels? Or are there two covenants? This is the argument. This is the argument that Christians and Jews. This is we have one. We have one for Jews and we. Okay, so are there two? Hebrews 4. I'm going to read this. It says, for indeed we have had good news, evangelio, right? And it could be a derivative of that. We had the good news preached to us. This is what we call the church, but the word or the logos preached to them. Wait a minute. I thought the word was preached to us. I thought the word that was made flesh was preached to us, but they had the instructions. So the writer of Hebrews has this backwards, because he says we had the good news preached to us, and we'll accept that, the evangel, the gospel, right? Preached to us, just as they also. But the word, or Yeshua, or the word made flesh, the logos they heard did not profit them, because it was not united in faith in those who heard it. Mm-hmm. Verse 6, since therefore it remains for some to enter in, and those who formerly had, now they had the good news preached to them, failed to enter because of disobedience. So they got the good news, we got the new goose. We say we get the logos, and the writer says that they got the logos, they got the word. What happened? I thought there were two covenants. He's in a spiritual form. They can still see him. This is after the cross. This is after the crucifixion. This is after he arises. 40 days in, he says, these are my devarim. These are my words, which I spoke to you while I was still with you, that all things which are written about me in the instructions in the law of Moses, in Torah, in the word that I spoke to Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms must be fulfilled. Wait, I thought he fulfilled everything at the cross. Is anybody out there?
We're here, brother.
Then he opened the aniago to expound their minds to understand. So we take this little phrase right here. Then he opened their minds to understand. Oh, then he must have touched them or something. But if you look at the Greek word, he expounded to them further the word. Because remember that on the road to Emmaus, right? He says, and he opened up and he spoke to them from the scriptures. They don't have a Torah with them. They don't have a book with them. They're walking. But, so I said it this way. If he was spirit, if he was the Word, and he became flesh, then after the tomb, the flesh will go back to being the Word, the Spirit, right? So it says he opened up the Word to them, beginning with Moses and through the prophets. And he talked to them for the duration that they went. And he told them all that must happen to him. So if you want to preach Yeshua, I think you need to start at the beginning of the book. This is what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this. Jesus is saying this. Thus it is written that Christ should suffer and rise again from the dead the third day, and that repentance for forgiveness of sin should be proclaimed to all the Gentiles, to all the Goyim, to all of the nations. Here is that phrase that the Apostle Paul or the translators are now going to translate as Gentiles or Greek. Beginning from Jerusalem, you are witnesses of this thing. So, if you want to preach about the good news, about the gospel, according to Yeshua and according to Shaul, according to Jesus and according to Paul, you got to start at the Old Testament. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Anybody disagree? Linda, why didn't they teach us this in school?
Because they didn't see it.
Yeah. But do you see it?
Yes, I do.